Welcome to Welcome to Digital Business Management Part B, where we look at modern digital management systems. We're going to start off with B1, very small firm ERP, what was known as SAP Anywhere. So SAP decided they would bring out some software called SAP Anywhere, and it was for very small firms. It had some good marketing materials with it, and it was a cloud-based system that you could pay a subscription to have, and it was designed for companies that maybe just wanted stock control, order processing, that kind of thing, without having production planning, the kind of more complicated things that ERP sometimes often has. There were product tours for point of sale in a shop selling bikes, for example, shown here on the tablet. E-commerce sales of bikes, and inventory management for bike parts, etc. Unfortunately, it didn't really catch on. So whilst it had a tile-based interface, which is the more modern view of things, for small firms who didn't have any IT expertise, they found it too complicated to manage. So SAP Anywhere was closed down. It generated only 65 customers worldwide, although some reasonable sized firms. But the benefits were that for 100 gigabytes of data, you would pay something like £1,240 per month. So not 13,000 a year, which for a system that would run everything was quite good actually. Then there were some other costs as well, but anyway, it's no more, and SAP are now focusing on other packages, which they have a confusion of other packages at small end, and one of those is SAP Business ByDesign, or BYD. This is a software as a service version of the software, and it runs at SAP, so it's actually hosted by SAP. So if you sign up to it, you are getting a service from SAP. You can see here the different things that it offers. You can have your accounting and finance done on it, sales and marketing, customer relationship management, human resources, supply chain management, project management, manufacturing, the sales process, and executive management, decision making, etc. So it's out there, and effectively for £70 per user per month. That was a while back, but the fee would be something similar. £70 per user per month, you could have the system, but there were some other costs as well. Set up, for example. It obviously takes quite a long time to set up an ERP system with all the customers' data. So those are the key elements, and you could actually select only those elements that you wanted by just clicking a tick box. So the tick box is there to allow you to select something. So what we can see here is that, for example, at the top, supply chain design, execution design, and production models are selected in supply chain management. One that isn't is quality assurance in manufacturing, warehousing, and logistics. Project management isn't selected. So basically, as you select those modules, you can see at the top there's an annual subscription of $64,400, but they're getting the system ready to go live, getting it all implemented properly with all the customers' data in it. That was a fee of $200,500, making a total of nearly $250,000 to run this. But if you're running a medium-sized business, this is all the support and hosting is done by SAP, and all the licensing, patching, etc. is all done by them. So you can have that as a saved configuration. You put in the number of employees your company's got, and then the number of users and it's the number of users which gives you the seats into the system that you can have. So for 50 seats, you're paying $250,000. But a lot of people would like to do that. So here it is blown up a little bit. You can see you can select your industry, so that gives you a different template. You put in your employees and number of users, and then you save your configuration, and it tells you in the first year costs on average ongoing costs how much it's going to be. And in this case, actually, it's $107 per user per month. Executive support available in the package involves organizational management, business analysis and analytics, management support in terms of area management, for example, and business planning, business area planning. Here's an example of what a manager's dashboard might look like in this system. You can see at the top there are role-based interfaces, and we did think about teaching students with this system, but the fact that you have to log out of your role and log into another role with your password would have meant you logging in and out quite a bit, and we decided that wasn't a good idea. But you can learn more about it on that link there. Our alternative would be to go with SAP Business One. In fact, SAP Business One is SAP's biggest user base. Most number of people using SAP Business Ones for small to medium-sized companies. There are lots of videos there that you can play. When you see them, they'll all be blue, but I've actually played a few of these just to make sure that they were working. There are more than 42,000 customers, more than 800,000 users, so quite a big user base. So just thinking about Business One again for a minute. Business One is a package that used to be limited by the size of the database. It's an integrated package that has everything built in around one database, and the database used to be the limiting factor. So when you got to about 1,000 users, the system would almost cease to work because of the load on the database. But since it's been available, Business One on SAP HANA, that restriction is gone, and so you can use SAP Business One to a much larger user base than you used to be able to. So sizing the database in one of these systems is quite an important thing. Part B4, managing complexity, drivers for digital transformation. So thinking about complexity challenges. On one side we've got unprecedented complexity, the complexity of organizations, business processes, decision making and technology, and with the business in the middle, on the other side we have the digital economy. Business is at a tipping point. Every business is becoming a technology business because everything's driven by technology, so companies are having to restructure themselves as technology businesses, and that gives them opportunity. So if you embrace the digital economy, there can be some opportunities there. There are 5 technology trends. It's the digital economy is the biggest game changer in business. You need to adapt or die, and these 5 technology trends are the need for cyber security, securing data, securing interactions and securing identities, a smarter world with cheap ubiquitous sensors and easy to access low power supplies that can power these little mini networks, and robotics, and the advent of Industry 4, so much better control of production lines through technology, 3D printing of not just paper but also plastic and metal sintering, etc., and artificial intelligence, applying artificial intelligence to do manual tasks a bit more smartly. In terms of cloud computing, you have these 3 options: software as a service, which would Business ByDesign would be an example of, or platform as a service, where you you only provide we looked at this in cloud computing lecture, and infrastructure as a service, so where Amazon Web Services made its name. So we really already covered that in the previous lecture, so I'm not going to look at it further. Supercomputing, we have in-memory computing, so very fast databases, and because we have fast database, we can handle much higher volumes of data, what's called big data. So there's opportunities there. And then finally, hyperconnectivity. You have social and business networks, the Internet of Things connecting sensors to what's called digital twins, software applications that can receive sensor readings from field-based assets, and mobility, mobile phone networks, etc. So businesses need to simplify, get rid of all that complexity. By applying innovation, they can reimagine their business models, reimagine business processes, reimagine the actual nature of work, and reimagine IT. And this is where SAP steps in to help them with software solutions, the SAP ecosystem, and service and support. So digital transformation is rapid. If we look back in history at how long it took a radio to reach 50 million users, the radio networks, it took 38 years. TV took 13 years, iPod 4 years, the internet 3 years, Facebook took 1 year to reach 50 million users, and Twitter 3/4 of a year, 9 months. So we have on the right hand side here this what's called the innovation curve. So visibility is the vertical axis, and over time, and so there are various technology triggers, and if they are taken up by early adopters, there's this big rush to the peak of inflated expectations, where suddenly people realize that there are some drawbacks with it. And then you get this chasm between the early majority, who are going to make you your profit, and the early adopters. There's this chasm where you suddenly are not getting buyers because people are waiting for a new version of the same technology or something like that. Then there's the slope of enlightenment, where you start to really make money out of the product because you have got a lot of people using it, and after that you get those people who have never buy anything new, and you might get them then. So that process is going on in the background. So the drivers of the digital economy, what are they? Well, there are technology trends. There are increased customer expectations because we're used to technology working in a much better way. So we have Amazon Alexa, we have all the different new technologies that are coming in. That's raising people's expectations to think of they can get more. There are business model disruptions. So instead of selling a product, we go for product as a service, and we rent that product to the customer in return for them paying a subscription, and we provide them then with a service which is our responsibility to make sure we keep up, and to enable us to know with certainty that for example machines we've sold are going to be okay in the field. We can monitor them over the Internet of Things to a digital twin software app, where we can go and effectively dial into one of those assets and those machines in the field and examine to see how they're running with different parameters. Internally, there are some challenges in terms of we have ambitious goals, we have a new modern workforce, we have lines of business and business partners, and user expectations that are all competing challenges that we have to think about. These user expectations have changed, so in the way we play. We might play on a PlayStation VR, virtual reality set, or on Pokemon Go or World of Warcraft. In terms of how we shop, it's becoming increasingly Alibaba.com, Amazon, Instacart, and various other online retailers. How we watch is through Amazon Video, Netflix, and YouTube increasingly. which is challenging the status quo in some of the entertainment provision. And how we talk is on WhatsApp or Facebook or Snapchat. As an example, and Instagram you could have in there as well. Now there's mobile technology, augmented reality and digital assistants, which are all part of this new reality that we can interact with. And we are seeking to have performance, ease of use, compliance, anytime, anywhere, any device interactions. So in terms of SAP, they might be seeking to move away from major license purchases, which they get big injections of capital but rarely, to a subscription model where they have a range of users of various different levels, renting software from them and getting support with models like pay per month, pay per user, pay per click, etc. So business must change to survive, and every company needs to become a software-driven company that's able to use machine learning and real-time data to intelligently advise people, leading to the real-time business. We connect people with things and businesses through integration systems and security being up to scratch. Then people, we have user experience and the customer experience, the user interface and the customer engagement links that we have, and allowing people to collaborate via mobile. Then we have things, the Internet of Things, that extends our company out into the environment, and businesses, so who have new business models, new ecosystems, application programming interfaces that allow you to dial straight into another company's IT system. Microservices, delivering new services with microservices, and comprehensive integration. So that all leads to the digitalization of a company. Businesses must deploy apps that respond seamlessly to their environment by using machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data analysis, and Internet of Things to create new business models. So we have an agile enterprise architecture, increasingly as we go towards tomorrow, where at the moment we might have a whole series of cloud apps, and separately our legacy systems and on-premise applications, whereas SAP's view would be that you'd build all your apps, or you'd link all your apps to SAP Cloud platform, either built on them using an interface to extract data from something like SAP S4-HANA, for example, ERP data, and then to turn that data into a mini app that can be used for other purposes. What's called Mode 2 apps. And you can see here that the cloud and the on-premise is linked very nicely together, where S4-HANA is the digital core. So that HANA thing, we've got SAP HANA platform here. So what is it? Well, it has a series of sources of data, transaction data, unstructured data from wherever it could be coming into streaming data, for example, but it might not be. Machine data, sensor readings, etc. We might have data in a data lake, which all that really is not a lake, but a room full of inexpensive computers with some software that allows you to store data on multiple machines and then know how to reassemble it later when we want it, allowing us to have a big data store. Real-time data, we might also be using location-based data, and for restaurants, where they are, etc., and other apps. So they feed in through integration services and allow things like text mining of data to happen, predictive analytics and analysis to happen, other database services, all linked to various clients via web server. So for example, mobile client, the Internet of Things, cloud apps, and SAP Analytics Cloud, Excel as a means of showing queries, or application programming interfaces into other systems. So this is the SAP Digital Business Platform. On the left you have S4HANA Business Suite for HANA. It's the digital core, the centre, the nervous system of a business. So not only ERP but also customer relationship management, supplier relationship management, enterprise warehouse management and transportation management. And that you link to through a SAP Fiori tile-based interface. Now there are also applications that SAP acquired and rebadged. So Ariba was originally an external company. That gives you a trading platform that basically you can go onto something that looks like Amazon but actually has a massive industrial products database which you can view via a very nice, easy to use consumer interface. SAP Hybris is a customer engagement tool, so it does CRM but it also does sentiment analysis of people's thoughts on Twitter, for example. SuccessFactors is the talent management HR system. It's the leading cloud-based one. And SAP Fieldglass is for temporary workforce management. So those are SAP applications, and both S4HANA and the other SAP applications, they're on long innovation cycles. So maybe a year before you get a new version. So to make it possible for companies to create smaller apps that can do what you want, what's called Mode 2 apps, they set SAP Cloud Platform up with a series of services, mobile services, integration services, user interface connect creation, analytics services, machine learning and IoT. And those link to business services through an API business hub. They can get to a marketplace, and then where you can sell apps that you have created that are leveraging data from somewhere like S4HANA and displaying it in novel ways with a tile-based interface. You might also be making an analytics app in the same way using SAP Business Objects Cloud, which is SAP Analytics Cloud, and SAP Digital Boardroom, which allows you to make it very easy to get that data in real time on some 3 big screens. So the real-time business age is upon us. S4HANA is ERP, SAP HANA equals an in-memory database, the Internet of Things equals a big data source. And so you have the digital core, which is S4HANA, allowing the management of customers through an experience omni-channel, workforce through workforce engagement systems, assets managed over the Internet of Things, and suppliers, collaboration and business networks, again through procurement facilities of SAP software. This is a bit more detail. So Ariba is the network that connects suppliers together and their products. Concur is an application which allows you to manage your expenses in real time without having to actually write an expense report. It does all for you. Fieldglass is for temporary workforce management. Then you have customer management for simplified sales, customer engagement, managed relationships, commerce platforms. In terms of asset management, we have the ingestion of data very quickly, the analysis of data in seconds for the discovery of trends and distillation of strategies. And then workforce management, human capital management for succession planning and workforce analytics, and a whole load more there. So in summary, these are the different applications that are in this area. We have SAP Leonardo. Interestingly, Portsmouth is the SAP Next Gen chapter for SAP Leonardo, which was awarded in September this year, September 2018. All of that is driven by SAP HANA and the SAP Cloud platform, which is linked to HANA. So from that we generate the intelligent enterprise, with intelligent insights being drawn off from S4HANA, either through Analytics Cloud or through bespoke apps that have been made to do that. Mode 2 apps. So there are changing business models as a result of all this change. For example, Rolls-Royce quite often they don't sell engines, they rent them out to customers on a permanent basis, delivering what's called power by the hour. So they rent out engines to aircraft on a so they rent out engines on a hourly basis, and they are monitored over the Internet of Things via telemetry from the plane, from the engines. Sensors are then connected to a digital twin back at base for each engine, which is showing what that all the sensor readings in that engine are showing. And this allows the companies to move to a subscription revenue model that relies on the cloud with internet connected sensors and fast databases to manage customer assets, and that means you have recurring income. So B5, medium large companies, they need something called SAP Business Suite for HANA or S4HANA, which you're using for your case studies. So it's the next generation business suite that helps reimagine business. You can connect your business in real time with the Internet of Things, bring big data down to size, and unlock the full potential of the network economy, and connect to a global business network covering over 1.7 million connected companies. You can get real-time insight because the data is real-time. You can roll it up in real time, no longer having to wait overnight for a consolidation of data, so it's small enough to be analysed. With SAP HANA you don't need to have that. You can reimagine your business processes by real-time business processes and eliminating batch processes. You can extend the business value of your business processes with hybrid scenarios across your lines of business, and get best business practices based on 40 plus years of experience from SAP, where initially they learnt on the guinea pigs that buying their services, but now they are pretty much expert. So real-time access to data means no overnight batch aggregation. You get data you need on demand, and the results, the analytics on demand. Pre-S4HANA, you had disconnected processes, siloed information in different databases. There were some limitations of technology. People were saying, I can't understand my customer profitability at the level of detail I need to. How much are we spending in one department to support our top customers? I can't figure out if it is more profitable for a specific product to expedite shipping or use standard transport. So S4HANA is part of the digital supply chain. It has a digital business foundation on top of which you've got the Internet of Things, and on top of that you have people to enable the workforce, and resources, assets that need to be managed, suppliers who need to be called upon, and customers who are the people driving the sales. So today we have functional based applications based around the departments' functions, but role based is where it's going. But thankfully not in either this role or that role. That hasn't come about yet. So here's S4HANA, the different areas of it. We will be looking at sales. We'll be looking at marketing. Yes, the marketing part. We'll be looking at procurement, human resources, finance, the supply chain. I'll talk about asset management, etc. You can look that up on that link. So here's an example of similar tiles flowing onto different devices, allowing the application to be used equally well on any device. So SAP Fiori Demo Cloud Edition, if you want to see what the Fiori itself interface can do, then there's some videos there to watch. And again, another good demonstration of using the Fiori interface, which you can see here involves tiles which have numbers on them. That shows the number of products that have been made. For example, managed products tile. There are 123 products that are being managed in that area at the moment. Down at the bottom, you've got purchase requisition item types. There are 211 of them, but it also shows you that you can get some graphs on there showing free text items, free text item from a graphical user interface, etc. So these tiles can be active, showing you data as well as just a menu item. So there's a video there to watch. Some other examples of SAP Fiori in action. There's a video demo to watch there. Now there's a video here which is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is a big SAP customer, and it's used for not only the business functions but also for training, for managing the fan base, etc. So because SAP HANA is really quick, they can have real-time access to the data even during a match. McLaren makes a sports car, and it can be customized in real time, and the production line can actually be altered to allow a customer to have a different color car, for example. There's a video here which talks about real-time trend analysis. So go and look at the analytic solutions that it talks about there. Your process of acquiring data from maybe HANA, enrich the data, so transform it in some way, predict the insights by applying algorithms against it, build data visualizations and explore the data, and then share with your teammates, etc. That's the process. So here's some of the output of predictive analytics. So you can see you have this process: prepare, predict, visualize, compose and share. So we've got a bubble plot there. We have another graphical view of a particular project. Nice and neat, very graphically rich. SAP Lumira also allows you to do lots of other very nice looking plots, etc. So we talk about SAP CRM, software on premise versus SAP in the cloud. What you can see here is that SAP CRM is something of a quadrant leader, neck and neck with Oracle Siebel. Salesforce is a bit in the lead, but actually if you saw the latest evidence, SAP is squarely in there with Salesforce as the market leader. So you can look at some of those solutions that have been picked there. So SAP CRM 7 is rapidly being replaced by what's called C4 HANA, or the Customer Experience for HANA. You can get analytic reports from different locations, crystal reports or web intelligence, and have those attached to your report. There are elements like SAP Cloud for Customer, and if you want, you can actually learn all about Experience SAP Cloud for Customer, because there is an Open SAP MOOC course that you can take. You just have to sign up for it online at Open SAP. This is another one's Cloud for Social Engagement. And we also have Enterprise Performance Management. We use SAP Cloud for Analytics, or Analytics Cloud, and real-time dashboarding for this. So this involves strategy management, planning, budgeting and forecasting, profitability and cost management, for example. So we have business analytics in the middle, and then enterprise performance management on the left, and governance, risk and compliance on the right. Business intelligence. So a lot of what you've done will go in those sections. SAP Cloud for Analytics, Analytics Cloud give you an ability to write some very good graphs and charts. SAP Supply Chain, so there's software that allows you to manage your supply chain and all the things that it does. SAP Ariba and SAP Hybris. So SAP Ariba is data collaboration between suppliers and procurement agencies, but done in a consumer friendly type way. There's a procurement network that you might join, so some videos about that there as well. And the Ariba network handles things like spot quotes, contract management, procurement solutions, supplier management, buyer needs discovery and recovery, etc. SAP Ariba is a trading program that links big companies together. So here's some of the complexity of that, and watch the videos to get that out of it. Here we have SAP Concur and expense management. So here's the graphical plotting of it, but you can actually do your whole trip. So set up a trip, define expenses, get expense reports, and then get it approved. Fieldglass is vendor management. Still very valuable on top of Fieldglass. SAP Hybris Commerce gives you a nice, you create the product in ERP, Enterprise, ECC, and then that can be displayed on a portal, which makes it look just like if you were buying something off Amazon. SAP HR B10, Human Capital and Talent Management. So there's a video about that, and onboarding that companies can do to make employees settle in much quicker. So there's a list of key terms that we've used during this section. So that's the end of this session. So this is the end of the second video on digital business management. Thanks for your attention.